Uzhice to Uzhice, the city in the west of Serbia. According to a census of 2002, the population is 102,463 people. Administrative center of municipality to Uzhice and Zlatoborski district. The Big Fellow is located on the riverbank. History. The first inhabitants of this region of Serbia were Illyrians. In particular the tribes of Partini and Otoriati. Burials of these tribes meet in the region everywhere. Later the region was included into the Roman Empire, having become a part of the province of Dalmatia. The Middle Ages were marked by coming of Slavic tribes, and later in Serbians from White Serbia. About 1180, Great Shupan Stefan Nemanja attached Uzhice to the medieval state of Raška, which at the time was under the power of Shupan Stracimir. The king Dragutin renounced the power in favor of the brother Milutin who, having won the region Mokva from the Hungarian king, created the Sremski kingdom and headed it. After Dragutin's death the one lands were a part of Serbia. After death of the Tsar Stefan Dusan, passed Uzhice under control of Vajislav Vojinović, which was soon made by Nikola Altimanović. The Serbian Prince Lazarus and the Bosnian Tsar Turko I won a victory over Nikola Altimanović and divided these lands among themselves. So it appeared to Uzhice under control of the Prince Lazarus.
Uzhice fell under the pressure of the Ottoman Empire in 1463 and I became the Belgrade Pašalic port till 1807 while she wasn't osvobodila by the Serbian army during the First Serbian Revolt.
Became Uzhice the center of the region with a great number of merchants and handicraftsmen.
Only since the end of the 19th century the city began to develop in the industrial plan.
The first small factories which are releasing woolen blankets and made of felt of a thing began to open in Uzhice in 1868, and in 1880 the factory on production of leather products opened. Became Uzhice the first city in Serbia where constructed the hydroelectric power station based on Nikola Tesla's laws. It was constructed in 1900 on the Jetina River. Uzhice Republic.
In 1941 Uzhice it was captured by communistic guerrillas who elected it the capital of the Uzhice Republic.
This republic existed during the fall of 1941 in the western part of the occupied Serbia. The Uzhice Republic occupied almost all western part of Serbia, with the total number of population more than 300,000 people. She settled down between the rivers Skrapa in the north, Drin in the west, the western Morava in the east and Uvice in the south. At the time all factories working in Uzhice were converted into military needs. Automobile and the railroads continued to function, books and newspapers continued to be printed while actions of occupational forces were concentrated on other directions. In November 1941 the German army occupied this territory again, and most of guerrillas fled to Bosnia, Sandžak and Montenegro. In Socialist Yugoslavia to Uzhice it was renamed in Titovo Uzhice. It is one of 8 cities renamed into the cities of Tito. In 1992 the old name is returned.
In the 1990s the economy to Uzhice was in decline because of political instability and war. In 1999 the city was several times fired by aircraft of NATO.
The greatest destructions were put on May 6, 1999, when a large number of roads and highways, the airport, civil objects and government buildings was destroyed by bombing. After long bombings, thousands of inhabitants to Uzhice came to the main square, protesting against bombings, destructions of the city and murder of civilians. Modern city. Today Uzhice is the center of development of economy in the region. The most developing industries, non-ferrous metallurgy and the textile industry. Gives to Uzhice with municipality 30% of the general products which are turned out in all region, and the majority of products goes for export.
Except the industry in Uzhice, such industries as construction of houses and civil institutions, transportations, trade, agriculture, banking, medical care also develop.
Sites. Uzhice Fortress. The power plant museum constructed on Project H. Tesla. Factory of weapon and ammunition in Uzhice. Komu. Uzhice Krushin. Ethnic groups in municipality to Uzhice. For 2002. Serbians minus.
Montenegrins minus 278.
Yugoslavs minus 149. Others minus. Culture. Uzhice is the city with rich history. On the main square there are a library and theater. Also in the center the editorial offices of newspapers, TV and radio stations, and also several publishing houses are located. The National Museum opens a door to cultural and historical treasures of the city, and the exhibition of these treasures shows centuries of the rich history Uzhice. He is on east part of the main city street. In the city there are a lot of statues and monuments devoted to heroes Uzhice, especially in east part of the city named by Dover. The Uzhice Gymnasium, one of the oldest higher educational institutions in Serbia. About a gymnasium there are several initial and average educational institutions. Milutin Uskokovic, the writer from Uzhice, is recognized as the author of the first modernist novel in Serbia. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.